There's something new going on in the gospel music industry. Pop sensation Justin Bieber is now collaborating with Bishop Marvin Winans, a legendary voice in both the music industry and the church. However, their partnership is more than just a musical endeavor. Around the world, it's startling fans, igniting discussions, and raising eyebrows. What caused the collision of these two radically different worlds? What does it signify for gospel music's future? You'll be shocked by the answers. So stay put. Breaking down boundaries is nothing new to Bishop Marvin Winans. He has spent decades influencing gospel music, motivating millions, and coaching many musicians as a member of the illustrious Winans family. However, he has now taken a move that few could have predicted. He has partnered with Justin Bieber, the worldwide musical sensation. Fans and critics are talking about this surprising collaboration. While some view it as a daring step that unites the worlds of popular and gospel music, others wonder how a person so steeped in church customs could be associated with a pop star who leads such a different lifestyle. We'll show you behind the scenes of this historic partnership in this video. You will learn about the discussions that preceded it, the responses from the gospel community, and the unexpected revelations made by Bishop Marvin Winans regarding influence, music, and faith. The insider information about their creative process, the message they want to convey, and the potential influence this could have on pop culture and gospel music will astound you. It becomes intriguing at this point. It is controversial, according to certain detractors, yet it has a profoundly spiritual purpose. You'll see why this collaboration is more than simply a song at the end of this video. It's a declaration. We must first recognize Bishop Marvin Winans' remarkable career in order to realize the significance of this partnership. Marvin, who was born into the famous Winans family, has shaped the sound, message, and audience of gospel music for many years. In gospel circles, Winans has come to represent quality, spiritual depth, and musical inventiveness since his early days of performing with his siblings and now running his own ministry. Marvin Winans is unique not only because of his voice, but also because of his ability to relate music to ministry. Without ever sacrificing his spiritual foundation, his songs have spurred social change, encouraged congregations, and even made their way into popular culture. His versatility is demonstrated by albums like Alone, Yet Not Alone and Forever, which combine modern production with classic gospel harmonies to appeal to listeners outside of churches. Numerous musicians that Marvin has coached throughout the years are now influencing the larger music industry. His ministry extends beyond stage work. He invests in the upcoming generation of gospel talent, mentors young musicians, and preaches. He has gained recognition from both the music industry and religious organizations for his twin roles as a musical innovator and spiritual leader. This is where things become even more intriguing, though. Bishop Winans has a strong foundation in conventional gospel, but he has never been afraid to try new things. He has participated in broadcast music initiatives, worked with musicians outside of the gospel genre, and even adopted contemporary production methods that are more suited to younger audiences. The church community has occasionally debated these actions, with some wondering if incorporating secular elements weakens the spiritual message. And that leads us to the here and now. His partnership with Justin Bieber sparked interest and criticism as soon as it was revealed. Some see it as a logical progression of his inventiveness. Others see it as a daring, unanticipated foray into popular culture that calls into question influence, religion, and the direction of gospel music. The tale doesn't stop there, though. Even more intriguing are the motivations for this partnership and the responses from both communities. You won't find anything else regarding Bishop Winans' collaboration with Justin Bieber elsewhere, I promise. The tale of Justin Bieber and Bishop Marvin Winans' reunion is both surprising and intriguing. They appear to be from rather different worlds, one with a strong foundation in gospel ministry and tradition. The other is a worldwide pop sensation whose career has been characterized by viral moments, #1 singles, and private scandals. But for some reason, their paths crossed in a way that has the music industry, fans, and critics buzzing. Insiders claim that the original connection went beyond music. It was about a common cause and faith. In recent years, Bieber has been outspoken about his spiritual development, openly talking about how his personal development and music lifestyle have been impacted by his beliefs. According to reports, he contacted Bishop Winans not only to work on a song together, but also to ask for advice and mentoring on how to reconcile his artistic and religious beliefs. since it's not only a musical cooperation but also a gathering of spiritual minds. This gives the collaboration an entirely new level. Bishop Wynne himself characterized his decision to collaborate with Bieber as both unexpected and motivating. According to reports, he sensed a sincere desire in Bieber to use music to honor God, even though he had been hesitant to venture into mainstream musical collaborations. Winans said this was the decisive element, collaborating with someone who was more focused on spirituality than financial gain. Insiders say the creative process was painstaking. Bishop Winans played a significant role in developing the message, making sure that the song's lyrics, production, and general tone all adhered to gospel values. Conversely, Bieber contributed his pop sensibility, vocal range, and the project's worldwide scope. They worked in a very cooperative atmosphere, sharing ideas, perfecting harmonies, and fusing gospel and modern pop in previously unheard of ways. But there were some doubters about the partnership. Some gospel believers questioned whether the message's sanctity may be compromised by allying with a pop singer. Debates quickly erupted on social media. While some hailed the collaboration as groundbreaking, others cautioned that it ran the risk of making gospel music a commodity. Churches, gospel radio stations, and even other musicians contributed to the conversations, which went beyond internet forums and reflected the conflict between tradition and innovation. This is where things start to get interesting though. According to sources, there are aspects of the partnership that nobody expected. Bishop Winans' spoken word interludes, live worship, and even parts when Bieber sings his own testimony are all included. It's not merely a duet. It's a spiritual conversation set to music that transcends religious and cultural divides. The most unexpected aspect is that early previews indicate the song is already generating interest from audiences who had never heard evangelical music before. For the first time, Bieber fans are being exposed to spiritual themes and gospel harmonies. Longtime gospel fans are being urged to reevaluate the ways in which faith-based music may be heard by a wider audience. It's a daring experiment that's igniting discussions that nobody anticipated. Reactions to the announcement of Bishop Marvin Winans and Justin Bieber's partnership were swift and strong. In particular, the gospel community felt conflicted. On the one hand, many hailed the collaboration as a historic step that may introduce gospel music to people who had never heard its depth and impact. Bishop Winans' longtime supporters praised him for having the guts to cross conventional lines and adopt a fresh approach to sharing his faith. However, others questioned whether gospel music's integrity could be jeopardized by collaborating with a pop musician. Pop collaborations, according to critics, run the risk of commercializing religious themes and transforming holy music from a place of worship into entertainment. With hashtags supporting and criticizing the action surging, social media turned into a battlefield for discussion. Some religious leaders have openly expressed worry that younger gospel musicians may feel under pressure to imitate these crossovers, which could weaken the spiritual legitimacy of the genre. Despite the criticism, the collaboration's innovative execution has received a lot of praise. The song's distinctive blending of styles has been praised by music critics. Bishop Winans' gospel harmonies, Bieber's pop melodies, and even spoken word passages that convey a potent spiritual message are all intermingled. It defies the idea that gospel music must adhere to a limited traditional sound, as listeners have noted, describing it as revitalizing, inspirational, and even transforming. Fans themselves are involved but divided, which is precisely what this kind of partnership seeks to accomplish. Fans of Bieber, some of whom may have never heard gospel music or gone to a church service, are now being exposed to the genre in a meaningful and approachable way. In the meantime, gospel listeners are being challenged to think about how music might cross boundaries without sacrificing its meaning. According to preliminary social media surveys, most listeners are interested, fascinated, and even eager to see what this collaboration will bring next, even while some purists are still wary. The story has also been embraced by the media. The cultural relevance of combining pop and gospel music at a time when mainstream entertainment and faith-based media hardly ever interact has been explored in feature stories, podcasts, and interviews. Collaborations such as these, according to analysts, may herald a new age in gospel music, one in which musicians are enabled to reach listeners throughout the world while maintaining their spiritual foundation. The exciting portion that has everyone talking, though, is right here. According to reports, Justin Bieber and Bishop Winans have more than one song in the works. They are reportedly considering a full-length project that would involve several songs, live performances, and possibly even a combined tour, according to sources. If this occurs, it would be a first for both mainstream and gospel music, establishing a precedent that might change the way that popular society engages with religious music. And it's not just music that's affected. Deeper discussions regarding spiritual guidance, mentoring, and the ability of faith to transcend cultural barriers are being sparked by this partnership. Bishop Winans helped Bieber with his public testimony, which demonstrates his readiness to be open about his spiritual development. It proves gospel music isn't limited to the church. It can serve as a medium for inspiration, healing, and influence in the larger world. However, there are risks associated with every daring action. Some worry that there may be more criticism, particularly from traditionalists who think the partnership goes too far. Others are curious about how up-and-coming gospel musicians will handle this new environment while striking a balance between ambition and sincerity. There's never been a more obvious conflict between entertainment, culture, and religion, and Bishop Marvin Winans is at the heart of it all. There's more to Bishop Marvin Winans and Justin Bieber's collaboration than just music. It symbolizes a turning point in culture that has the potential to change how gospel music engages with general listeners. Fundamentally, the gospel has always been about sharing a message of faith, hope, and spiritual direction. However, traditionally, the genre has frequently stayed inside religious communities, gospel radio stations, and church walls. Bishop Winans is boldly and strategically pushing these boundaries by entering the music arena alongside Bieber. There are significant cultural ramifications. By partnering with Bieber, who has a huge global fan base, millions of people who may not have previously heard gospel music are being introduced to it. Younger listeners, particularly those who are more used to social media, streaming services, and pop-driven music trends, may find gospel relevant as a result of this crossover. It's a calculated action that not only increases visibility, but also initiates debates on spirituality, faith, and personal development in settings where they are uncommon. The partnership conveys a potent spiritual message about change, intentional impact, and mentoring. Bieber's recent transformation from a teenage pop star dealing with personal issues to someone looking for a closer relationship with faith is representative of a broader story that spirituality transcends age, notoriety, or upbringing. Bishop Winans' participation highlights the value of receiving direction from seasoned spiritual leaders and demonstrates how knowledge and experience can mold artistic expression in ways that are genuine and significant. Furthermore, the partnership is probably going to have a long-term effect on gospel music in general. Winans and Bieber are proving that gospel music can change without losing its essence by fusing traditional harmonies with modern pop components. A new generation of gospel musicians might be encouraged by this to try out musical genres, production methods, and cross-church partnerships, while preserving a message of hope and faith. Additionally, it might result in more inventive collaborations between gospel musicians and popular singers, which would spur creativity and increase the gospel music's cultural reach. However, this collaboration's significance extends beyond music. By candidly addressing spirituality, personal development, and redemption via their music, it addresses how society views faith and the power that musicians have. Winans and Bieber are establishing a forum for viewers to interact with faith in a sympathetic and modern setting. This is especially crucial in a time when young people are still spiritually curious and looking for deep meanings, despite frequently feeling cut off from established religious institutions. The exciting twist is here. According to sources, Winans and Bieber are thinking about doing live shows and perhaps a multi-track project, which might further increase this cultural influence. Imagine gospel music being played for audiences from both religious and secular settings on stages often used for popular pop. In addition to pushing the envelope, if this were to happen, it would establish a standard for future partnerships between spiritual leaders and international performers. The long-term effects are just as strong. This collaboration may have an impact on how faith-based organizations, churches, and ministries perceive cultural participation. It proves that spiritual teachings may be presented in ways that appeal to modern audiences without sacrificing authenticity, and that religion and innovation are not mutually contradictory. It poses significant queries for other artists as well. To what extent can gospel change? In a cultural landscape that is changing quickly, How can faith-based music stay relevant? Most significantly, how might partnerships like this encourage viewers to delve further into their own spiritual paths? There is more to Bishop Marvin Winans and Justin Bieber's collaboration than just one song. It's a spiritual bridge, a cultural experiment, and a message. It challenges us to reconsider the potential of gospel music, the value of mentoring, and the ways that art and faith can converge to produce significant, long-lasting effects. One thing is clear as the globe observes this collaboration's development: the dialogue it has sparked is just getting begun. Additionally, the repercussions might change pop and gospel music for years to come. What can we learn from Justin Bieber and Bishop Marvin Winans' historic partnership? First of all, it's obvious that this collaboration goes beyond a single song. It's a spiritual and cultural declaration. By embracing a popular pop singer, gospel music icon, Bishop Winans has taken a risky move and demonstrated that religion, tradition, and creativity can coexist. This action pushes the limits of gospel music and demonstrates that it may change without losing its spiritual character. Second, the partnership demonstrates the value of coaching and mentoring. Bieber's urge to collaborate comes from a sincere desire to grow spiritually as much as from his musical goals. Through this collaboration, viewers witness directly how seasoned spiritual leaders may inspire the upcoming generation of artists to match their gifts with a more profound mission. This serves as a reminder that music is more than just amusement. It can serve as a medium for inspiration, testimony, and change. Third, the media, fans, and gospel community's responses highlight how important this moment is. Others have commended the collaboration's inventiveness, genuineness, and capacity to reach new audiences, while others have questioned if it was suitable. Discussions on faith, society, and how gospel music is changing in the contemporary world are becoming more accessible as a result of this collaboration. Lastly, there are significant long-term ramifications. This partnership has the potential to establish a standard for upcoming endeavors, motivate up-and-coming gospel musicians to pursue avant-garde musical paths, and urge religious performers to connect with audiences much beyond their conventional spheres. It also shows that without compromising authenticity, spiritual teachings may be presented in approachable, interesting, and culturally appropriate ways. Justin Bieber and Bishop Marvin Winans' tale is still developing. Additional recordings, live performances, and projects are reportedly being considered, which might increase the impact of this collaboration even more. There is little doubt that audiences from all walks of life are watching, listening, and discussing music, culture, and faith in ways they have never done before. What do you think then? Is this partnership a daring, forward-thinking step that will revolutionize gospel music? Or is it a dangerous experiment that goes too far against tradition? Leave a comment below with your opinions. We would like to know what you think. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you like this video and want to be informed about the most recent gospel music scandals, pop culture partnerships, and behind-the-scenes tales. Give this video to loved ones, friends, or anybody else who is interested in the relationship between music and faith. It's important to keep in mind that this story is far from over and that the next chapter may completely alter the definition of pop and gospel music. Don't overlook any developments. Keep the conversation going, pay attention, and participate. The world is watching as Justin Bieber and Bishop Marvin Winans begin their start.